Hello, and welcome to another Win Daily Sports Show. My name is Michael Brazil. I got my main man Ghost here with me, and we are breaking down this nice and easy little 3-game slate. We are here for it. We're going to help you make some money. We got some bets, we got some plays, we got some DFS to talk about. But first, as always, make sure to smash that like button. Just smash the shit out of that like button. That is what we would love to see. In the show notes, you will also see the Win Daily Sports YouTube page. Go subscribe over there as well. We love our friends over here at HNB Media TV, but we do a lot of other stuff on our YouTube page as well. And make sure to follow us at Win Daily Sports on Twitter. Me at Michael Brazil1 and my man Ghost at DFS_Ghost. Ghost, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, bro. It's a Taco Tuesday. The moment we get off, gonna go fix my lineups up, and then after tune on a nice NBA night, making some tacos. Tuesdays are always good. I love Tuesdays.
I'm a good fan of Tuesdays, and we're actually having tacos as well. So very excited for that. It should be a good one. We got that HelloFresh. Sponsor the pod, HelloFresh, and we'll give everybody a promo code. But until then, I'm going to keep getting it because I love it anyway. So it's some good shit. So let's get on right to it. We are using PointsBet for our odds. So please, if you're not using PointsBet already, and if you're in Michigan or New Jersey or some of those other states that we have available, I think there's there's a bunch of them. I can't even tell off the top of my head. Win Daily, promo code Win Daily on PointsBet. You get up to $250 free right into your account, and you can rock with us. We would love to appreciate that. So let's start. We got a nice little late start today. 7:30. We got Clippers and the Hawks starting at 7:30. We have the Hawks -5, and you're like, why the heck are the Clippers 5-point underdogs? Turns out Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are out. So this isn't really the Clippers. These are just some dudes that are on the Clippers. Ghost, how are you looking at this game in terms of betting, in terms of DFS? What do you like and what do you not like from this one?
Yeah, so interesting line movement on this one throughout the day. It was actually Brian at Two Lock Sports. You guys can go and follow him. He's a great follow on Twitter, of course, and a key member to our Win Daily Sports team across all sports. The legendary man behind picks and pivots. So make sure you guys go and follow him. He pointed out the line movement throughout the day. So we got a delay in this one with pretty much all books, and it actually opened up at 3, at as low as 3. Some of them had it at -3.5 for the Hawks, and it quickly jumped up to -5. So we're seeing a lot of money going on the Hawks. Kind of leans us to say that, you know what, maybe Trey and Clint Capella are likely going to pay in this one. Obviously, two important Q tags heading into this 3-game slate, and really shifts the landscape of your lineup, whether you're on FanDuel or DraftKings as well. Personally, I'm not going to play either one of them on FanDuel. Simply just way too expensive. Trae Young at 10.6 and Clint Capella's over that 10K mark as well. And there's another center that I want 100% exposure to. Of course, everyone's going to know who that is, but I'm all in on the man out of Kentucky. Unfortunately, not a Dookie, but it is what it is. It's okay. So from that perspective, I'm gonna stay off this one from the spread, mainly because we don't have that news whether Trey or Capella is gonna be in. But it could also be beneficial if you end up smashing the Hawks -5. Ideally, you take it on an alternate spread at -4.5. I don't really like to bet even numbers like that, but if you get it at -4.5 and then the line moves up even more because both of them get ruled in, then you're sitting pretty. Obviously, you're going to be a little bit more nervous if one, if not both, get ruled out, right? So that's the risky game from that perspective. As far as the DFS side, really depends what site you're playing on tonight. Even when we discuss on a nightly basis, the plays, they correlate from site to site, but certain ones are site dependent in the sense that, you know what, some guys are really underpriced on FanDuel instead of DraftKings, and vice versa. Take a guy like Justin Holiday yesterday. He was close to minimum price on FanDuel, starting for Indiana, had a great couple games in a row there. So we were saying, hey, he should be in your player pool on FanDuel. By no means is he a lock, but he should be in your player pool. Whereas on DraftKings, where he was over $5,000, we're like, no, you don't play a $5,000 Justin Holiday. So tonight, I'm going to have very limited, if not zero, exposure to Trae Young and Capella on FanDuel, just because of some other studs that I really want to get to in the second game. But over on DraftKings, if Trae Young's good to go, he's an interesting piece there, especially if we get news that, you know what, Russell Westbrook is going to be on a minutes limit. Trae Young makes for an interesting pivot.
Yeah, there's a lot of news still coming, unfortunately, even with this 3-gamer. Last night was just hilarious with everything that happened. At least they gave us most of it up to lock, and then it turns out after lock, we had a game freaking canceled, so you usually don't like to see that. That's pretty unfortunate.
I had so much DeJounte Murray, too.
You were talking the shit out of DeJounte, too.
That was not fun. I was like, okay, this is just the perfect way to end this slate. That was craziness yesterday.
You
That was,
love to see it because that's NBA DFS. We don't expect anything less. I think this is going to be an interesting game with Kawhi and Paul George out. I know Jason was pretty heavy on Serge Ibaka over 7.5 rebounds. So we know he's going to have to play a lot. Obviously, Clint Capella is going to be out there. Potentially, it looks like if he is out there, obviously, Serge Ibaka is going to need to be out there a little bit as well. So I think we hammered already the 7.5 over. Here we go. And that's why we love the chat. Clint and Trey are both in. News updated about 2 minutes ago. Appreciate it, Ben. That is fantastic. So there you
go. Just to touch on that as well, the main reason why I'm staying away from both of them, Trey, again, he would be in play for me on DraftKings just to pivot off of Westbrook if we get the news that he's on a minutes limit. That would be more so mainly a pivot play. He's not really going to be my main lineup if Westbrook's on full go. But one thing that I do want to point out is that they have Brooklyn tomorrow. So when we're talking about playing Trae Young and Clint Capella 36 minutes versus, a C squad Clippers team, I don't really see it. That's the main reason why I'm staying away from these guys. I'm all in on this second game. From the Clippers perspective, there's a lot of value to be had, but again, completely site dependent. You take a look at FanDuel, a guy like Reggie Jackson is really underpriced, especially if he gets a start. I could talk about Lou Williams for 20 minutes and then Reggie Jackson ends up starting. I could talk about Reggie Jackson for 20 minutes and then Lou Williams ends up starting. So we're going to avoid that conversation altogether. The main thing is that just keep an eye out to who's starting. Don't be surprised if both of them are starting. And you would have the main two guys coming off the bench. There would be Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard. So if you're looking for some value there, a lot of guys are just going to flock to the majority of these starters, and the field is going to do that, and rightfully so. I mean, that's just the way NBA DFS is, right? You have injuries, guys fill in, they're cheap, and you get to play them and take advantage. This is not really the case for me tonight. They're really DraftKings did a tremendous job by pricing them all up. You have Reggie Jackson, that's almost $7,000 on DraftKings today. You got to think twice before you end up playing these guys, and it would have been a really boring slate if Reggie Jackson was min price and you end up slotting in all these guys. Then you're playing Westbrook, you're playing Beal, you're playing Trae Young, you're playing Capella, and then on top of that, you're getting 36 minutes out of Reggie Jackson. That wouldn't have been fun. So I'm really happy that DraftKings ended up pricing them up. And just based on position scarcity of FanDuel on these small slates, that's just the nature of the beast over on FanDuel, man. I absolutely love their product for that reason. Is that you take a position like small forward tonight, where on a 10-game slate, it's already shallow just based on who they slot in that position. Get a 3-game slate, you're thinking about locking in Bojan Bogdanovic at this point. It's that's where things get really spicy. So you know what? I like the fact that you have to slot into every position with the exception of the center. It's going to be really fun to see lineup construction tonight.
It's going to be very interesting. I do completely agree with you there. Got shafted by Ingram and Murray last night. Was sitting at 3 and then they dropped. That sucks.
Yeah, Dejounte Murray. I was like, I don't even know what GIF or what meme to reference right now, but I was like, I don't even know what to do. I just closed my laptop. I was like, okay, I need to breathe 2 seconds because I had DeJounte Murray everywhere, and I was like, I could just take the easy road out and go down to Kendrick Nunn, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to do that, so I ended up moving things around, and then some guys were already locked in, and I was like, okay, the certain positions are locked on DraftKings. Then you're playing Tetris with your lineup and moving guys around. I was like, oh my god, okay, this is.
Come on. That's why we do
it.
The
nature of the beast. You love to see it, man.
Yesterday was the perfect day for that to happen. Come on. Yesterday was the perfect day for that to happen.
Yeah, honestly, I rather it happen yesterday where I was already like my I don't even know, veins or what, on the side here were already going nuts. I was like, okay, there's 500 million injuries. I was like, you know what? The grind don't stop. That's exactly what we preach here on the show too, is that lineups are not done until 10 p.m. tip off Eastern time when the last 100%. Game tips off. That's when your lineup finishes. So you know what? The game was at 8. No excuse. Your lineup's going until 10 p.m.
No excuses. We also have Reddish is out. Gallinari is in. Yeah, Reddish I think is dealing with an Achilles, so that's just unfortunate. Yeah. Gallinari,
they're being very cautious with that one, especially with the way that he plays. He's a fast dude. He's very active out there. So the way that he plays, it affects his game more than a spot up shooter.
100%. Let's move on to the next game. We have the Washington Wizards. We have the Houston Rockets. Rockets are favored by 3.5 points at home. Over under sits at 233. Let's go. And we already have a question. Over or under for the Houston versus Wizards game?
Yeah, so for those of you that have FanDuel Sportsbook, obviously they give us the benefit of same game parlays. I really wish I could partake in that, but obviously it hasn't reached the north of the border just yet.
But I
I already know
can.
Michael's nice and licking the pen there, ready to write it down. I'm taking the over in this game, and I'm taking Houston minus 3.5. Those would be my main two there, and we're gonna dabble in some player props as well as we discuss some guys. I came extra prepared today because it's only a 3-game slate.
Love it.
And lock is at 7:30. We get to take our time today. Life is good. It's Taco Tuesday. So came with some bets, came with some player props. As far as this game goes, over in the game and minus 3.5 for Houston.
I will. I'll take that to the bank. I'll cash that ticket right now, actually, too. I mean, John Wall going back to Houston. Russell Westbrook. I mean, he was there for like a year, so whatever. It's in Houston, so like I don't know. Revenge game. Let's be honest. John Wall wants to put on a show. I took John Wall over 6.5 assists. His PRA looked pretty tasty as well. I think it was only sitting in the low 30s when I saw it this morning. Jason was really hot and heavy on the assist factor, so I said, all right, I'll take that. He should be able to get 7 assists. I'm assuming he wants to put up a triple-double, so he needs at least 10 assists to do that. So how much John Wall are you locking in? You were on Boogie the other night as well. I know we're on him again. Westbrook, Bradley Beal. This game's going to be a freaking shootout. How are you feeling about it?
100% John Wall, 100% Bradley Beal, 100% DeMarcus Cousins.
Let's go.
And all 150. So I'm planting my flag.
I love it.
Ride or die.
Oh, I love it. What is it? Is it just the revenge narrative? I mean, obviously, pace up spot teams that don't like to play defense. I mean, that's always what we look for, right? So
so we'll start with the analytics and then we'll get to the fun, unless you want to do vice versa.
Let's build the argument and then add on top.
We'll build it up. That way it doesn't sound too foolish. But Russell Westbrook is one of the premier guys that I like to pick on from a one-on-one matchup perspective. Just a guy that plays fast. And you know what? Before we actually said this in the offseason show too. I keep going back to them. Like I actually watched it the other day just to see like where we landed and stuff like that. And I've been referencing it here and there for those that actually have been catching the references. But we talked about it back then that before Russell Westbrook was playing fast and De'Aaron Fox and all these guys now, like these up and comers that came in after Russell Westbrook, John Wall made the fast point guard what that is. He's the man that decided that, you know what, I'm going to push the pace and I'm going to play this game to the speed that I want to play it. So whenever you get a guy that has a certain playing style and now you have the opposition that's just that much better at it than you, yeah, I want some John Wall tonight. Russell Westbrook turns over the ball a ton. That's always fun. And then you get a guy like John Wall who just pedal to the metal 24/7 in transition. That's scary. This is a beautiful game script for him. No defense, turnover prone one-on-one matchup. Guy that thinks he plays fast when John Wall plays even faster. You love to see it.
You'll love to see it. I can't wait. I'll probably put the parlay in, then I'll probably put each in as well, just to.
So I can't parlay individual bets. So what I did was I took the over on John Wall points. I took the over on John Wall assists, and I took the over on his PRA.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Not messing around. I do like that. Yeah. I do like that. How about from the Wizards side? You said you're locking in Bradley Beal as well. What is it about him tonight?
I'm locking in Bradley Beal. I gave him one game to get back, and that's exactly what he needed because he already looked like one of the best players in the league in that second half of that game. That's exactly what he needed. So the Wizards, unfortunately, had who knows how many games postponed because of COVID and tracing and. We only have like 3.5 dudes ready to dress, and like maybe we could, get the equipment trainer a pair of shorts or something. Like it was to that point where it was just getting out of hand. So they had like 4, 5, 6 games postponed. I know because I had Bradley Beal in my fantasy league, and I didn't have him all week. So that was not fun. Still managed to come out with the W in the matchup, but it was a lot tighter than I thought it would be. So I'm happy to have Bradley Beal back. This is a game where he goes absolute bonkers. Yes, Russ has the sheer volume in order to pay off for his price, and that's why we'll have some Russ as well. Career lows for him in field goal percentage and three-point percentage. We were picking on him all season long last year, just with, the Lakers daring him to shoot the ball in that playoff series and just over and over again. People are daring him to shoot. It doesn't even matter just how bad he is because he's still averaging 18, 10, and 10 or 18, 9.7 and 10. Like he's averaging an 18-point triple-double just based on sheer volume alone. So for that, Russell Westbrook is definitely in play, and especially that I'm taking the over in this game. I think it sails over. We're talking about a 240, 245, 250-point game. The volume that's there, you're going to want pieces of that. It's not going to get to the Atlanta-Brooklyn total where we end up hitting like 290. Yeah, we're going to end up hitting like 290. But it's to that point where, you know what, it's a 3-game slate. I want as many guys as I want from the best game on the slate out of the 3, let alone the studs in that game. So I'm gonna have exposure to both. I just think Bradley Beal goes nuts in this one. He paces the league in points per game. He leads the league in scoring right now.
Wow, I did not know that.
People kind of see, like, so people are either kind of shocked when I tell them that, or they just put it to the side because, you know, KD's number 2, and you have guys that are scoring at some absurd rates right now. Zach LaVine's top 5 in the league in scoring this year. Put some respect on Zach LaVine's name. Like, and then Bradley Beal's out there averaging over 34 a game. Like, this is something that you want to spot like that. And I did take the over on Bradley Beal over 29.5 points. He is, even though it's like it's really juicy, like it's not even worth it to bet it from like, if you're betting for value, I didn't even take it, but he is minus 300 to score over 30 points tonight.
What?
Just to put that into perspective, he is minus 300 to score over 30 points tonight.
I'm not even gonna. What's the point of placing that bet?
You don't even have to bet it. I just bet it because I put it's the pizza bet, because I just want to see him smash my DFS lineups.
Okay, so yeah, that okay. I see what you're doing.
You're just to put that from a perspective where it's like, oh, how all in are you on Bradley Beal? The guy is minus 300 to drop over 30.
That's insane.
Now, we're not talking rebound. We're not talking PRA. We're not talking rebounds, assists. Anything. We're talking raw points. He's a minus 300 favorite to score over 30 points tonight. Okay, you lock the guy in.
I'm not going to place that bet. That just seems ridiculous. Is there anything?
I literally put $5 on it. I literally put $5 on it just to say, hey, I want a nice $1.50 and Bradley Beal's in my lineups.
Let's go.
That's it. But the real money that I have is in that first game where Houston minus 3.5. And then we're taking the over as well in this game. Bradley Beal over on. You could grab his PRA as well. It was pretty low last time I saw it. I saw it at 38.5. Not sure if it's still there, but at 38.5, I would definitely take the over on that one as well. And Boogie points and rebounds. I don't know if you have it open. I'm gonna look it up now.
I can check it.
Gonna smash tonight.
We have a question by Glide. What's up, Glide? Depot. Haven't said anything about him. His usage has been just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, his usage is nuts, right? So we talked about it last show where I don't have the exact number in front of me there, but as of the game before that, it was 40% since coming over to Indiana. We're talking about guys like Luka Doncic in that 37 range. Giannis is a bit lower this season, but again, he's typically in that 34 to 35% range. Trae Young's in that 33% range. Steph Curry's in that 33 to 34% range. Talking Victor Oladipo, 40% usage rate since coming over from Indiana. So that's absolutely absurd. This game has John Wall written all over it to that point where it's like, if I could manage to fit him in, he's definitely a key part of my lineup. Absolutely. But if I have to choose John Wall or Oladipo, I'm taking John Wall. But right now there are more than enough ways to fit all 3 of them, John Wall, Victor Oladipo, and Boogie, all in the same lineup with Bradley Beal.
So the line has moved on Bradley Beal. It's up to 34.5. So it's minus 110 at 34.5 for points, and it's at 45.5 for PRA. I'm taking it. All right. So
now we're talking. He's dropping 50 tonight.
I'm down.
Not PRA, like he's dropping 50.
I'm in because I'll take the PRA at 45.5 and win that bet. Here we go. Let's go back to the chat for a couple minutes. Here's an interesting one. We'll go. Would you trade DeRozan and LaMelo for Ingram and Jamal Murray in a points league?
In a points league, DeRozan and LaMelo for Ingram and Jamal Murray. Yes, buy low on Jamal Murray.
Buy low. Brian hit Monkey Knife Fight for 5 for 175.
Attaboy. Nice job, man.
Go to monkeyknifefight.com. Use promo code WINDAILY, and you can win a bunch of money like Brian. We always love it. Brian. Sorry, hate me, but he's fading Wall tonight. Revenge, man. Come on.
Like Brian even said it in Discord. Your funeral, bro.
Yep. Yeah, our Brian, too locked in. But here's one of his lineups. Brody, Don, Mitch, Herter, Morris Sr., Boogie, Trey, Nyang, and Len. Seriously? Alex Len? Is he popping in the model right now?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He's getting a ton of minutes.
Good for him.
Because no Thomas Bryant, no Bertans, no Mo Wagner.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah.
Their whole front court is injured. They basically only have Alex Len and Robin Lopez. So it makes sense to play min price Alex Len there. I don't mind it. Yeah, you can either go 2 types of builds tonight. It's 4 guards or 2 centers, Boogie and Len. I don't mind this one. The only thing is that no Bradley Beal, no John Wall. Like this is missing a lot of key components for me. It could work. I rather get my exposure to the only game that you don't have exposure to, and that's like from an ownership perspective, it's you have a lot of leverage in this lineup. Outside of Boogie and Morris Chalk, it makes sense to go with guys like Donovan Mitchell and Westbrook and Trey. Like they're all coming in low owned, so it makes sense. But there's not enough exposure to that Washington Houston game for me. It's very scary to get more exposure to the Utah and New York Knicks game.
The total of that just went up to it's now 233.5, so it's going up.
Hopefully people are smashing it as they're listening. Maybe we're the reason for moving the line. That'd be pretty cool.
I'm in. That's what we're here to do, man. We're here to fuck Vegas. That's what we want to do. Terrence Mann is starting. Is this a bait?
So this is exactly what I was waiting to see. Obviously, I'm live, so I don't have it in front of me. If somebody could post the starting lineup for me, I would really appreciate it, and then I will touch on this subject.
Awesome. And give me 1 second because I need to take the over in this game. Because we're good. Over 233 total points. Oh, so there we go.
Minus 3.5.
Yeah. There. Yep. Got that. Nice and easy. There we go. Nice. All right. Lou Will coming off the bench. Looks like Jackson is starting. How does that change anything from the first game? Now that you know that information.
I'm gonna pull it up. 2 seconds. This is everybody uses the same thing on Twitter for starting lineups. Clippers are starting Terrence Mann, Reggie Jackson, Kennard, Batum, and Ibaka.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay. That sounds kind of gross.
So you have Morris coming off the bench with Zubac and Lou Will.
Man, you ask for it in the chat. Look at that. People are just popping up. We got Gary. He gives us.
Guys.
Jason gives it to us. We appreciate all you guys.
This is really interesting. I'm going to run an update for you guys after. Well, an update, more like a million updates, but I'm curious to see as the minutes shift here, what the model predicts. It had Reggie Jackson for 31 minutes. I don't think that really changes things here. With Lou Will coming off the bench, it doesn't really change anything. Terrence Mann might skyrocket, though. I was kind of hoping that to be an underrated play for me. I was really hoping Lou Will and Reggie would start together and I could get Terrence Mann leverage over the field, but we're going to have to take a look at the ownership there. If everyone flocks to Terrence Mann, I probably won't play any Clippers at all. But just as I'm saying this, by the way, I'm only playing GPP tonight. It's a 3-game slate, so I would not recommend cash. If you are, then you're going to have to play at least 3 Clippers. You're going to have to play Lou Will, Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris, like 3 out of those 4 guys guaranteed. But I'm only playing GBP. I don't really see the leverage there now that Terrence Mann is starting. I'll keep an eye on his ownership. If it's low enough, then he was going to be my guy. You know, in a game that they blew out Sacramento, it was on January 15th. Paul George and Kawhi both played 27 minutes, and that was kind of the closest thing that we saw to the rotation with both of them out of the lineup this season because they didn't play the fourth quarter. So what happened was that Lou Will was also out of that game, but you could pretty much slot in Lou Will for Paul George. Reggie was there, Batum was there, Ibaka was there, and then you could slide in Morris for Kawhi, but now it's actually Luke Kennard. So in that game where Terrence Mann didn't actually start the fourth quarter, it was Lou Will and Reggie. Terrence Mann still played 29 minutes off the bench. So that was something that really caught my eye. He dropped 30 DK in 29 minutes. Guys, he could perform when he wants to. He could ball. But now for me, I'll let the field overreact to the news, and I'm going to just keep my exposure to Houston, Washington, and let the rest of the dominoes fall for now.
Love it. Getting back to that Houston-Washington game, Zach Baker, smallest prop bet on Beal and Bovada is 33 at minus 172. I'm looking at points.
All the books are different. There's one, like the one that we have here in Canada, there's obviously Bet365, and then there's also Betway. So Betway has these like special player props where it's just like even numbers. So you could take like Brandon Ingram tonight to score not 20 points or more. Mm-hmm. So it's not like it's kind of, it changes things for people that aren't comfortable with like points, rebounds, or assists, or PRA, or anything like that, where it's common across all books, or very little differentiation. That way kind of gives people like juiced odds to bet that, just to kind of get them involved. And that's where I saw the minus 300 for Bradley Beal at 30 points or more. So I like this one. I think he drops 35 or more tonight. Anything under 35, I would take it.
PointsBet has at 34.5 at minus
There you
110
go.
or 115. So Zach, promo code WinDaily when you download that PointsBet app. Just a little note. Hit the KC Buffalo game for 1,100.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Caleb.
Nice. Unreal.
Love to see it. Doing similar with my lineups, Beal over Mitch and my GPPs.
Yeah.
Everybody telling us about the notes. Brian is only playing Lou Will. Understandable, I guess, with that Terrence Mann news.
Yeah, I'm now like on DK for those that play DraftKings mostly. The ownership isn't as high on these Clippers as it's supposed to be because they did such a good job pricing them up, right? Like people have to think twice before playing $7,000 Reggie Jackson. That's really gross. So they made it really, really hard on us. The large majority of the ownership's going on Marcus Morris there. He's coming in over 70% owned. So playing Lou Will instead of Marcus Morris is definitely something I could get behind.
Zach is updating us. Took 35 at plus 100 plus money, man.
Yeah. You'll love to see it.
You'll love to see it. And you push at 35, so it's not like the worst thing in the world, Caleb. Sorry about that. Let's see. We got a question here from Berman. He's been in the chat recently. Appreciate you. Rookie B-ball DFS player. So I'm starting off in cash games. My lane lineup tonight so far is Wall, Beal, Morris, Hunter, Cousins, Lou Will, Robinson, and Conley. Any advice or help?
It's very strong. The key pieces that I would want in cash night would be Wall, Beal, Morris, another Clipper. So Lou Will or Reggie, you have Lou Will, and Boogie. So you have that core five in cash there. So very well done. I like it. The only thing about Robinson, it's a slate that we're starting for value. So it's still okay in cash, especially in cash because he's likely going to be high owned. But if Westbrook is full go in GPPs, that's somebody that you could kind of get away from. But in cash, he's coming in 40+% on right now. You're good to go with Robinson.
Love it. Glide 2v2 DK single entry GPP Bogdanovich, Depot, or Westy. Jerome Robinson. Already have Beal.
Westy Robinson as long as he's not on a minutes restriction.
Love it.
If he's on a minutes restriction, go with the first one.
And Zach says he can't use PointsBet in Cali. You can't use any books in Cali, Zach. So I'm not going to ask any more questions. This guy. He just wants to let us know that Kawhi is the best, and he's been saying it kind of just the whole time. So Ghost is a Raptors fan, so he loves Kawhi. So he's on your he's in with you. He's in with you. All right, let's get
to. I'm reading North shirt today too. So.
We actually have an ad read. Did you hear our ad read yesterday, Ghost, by any chance?
What are we doing?
All right, so we have a new sponsor to the Win Daily Sports Show. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about something we can all use a little bit more of. And I personally know that I don't think you need any more of it, but I think you're going to want to use a little bit more of it, Ghost, because you've been so stressed lately. You know what that is? Some real great sex. Real great sex, Ghost, man. So, guys, you now can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up. BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue, BLUE, brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, so you can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. Blue Chew is made in the USA. It's prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor or wait in line. It's even cheaper than the pharmacy, and they prepare and ship it right to you in discreet packaging and no awkwardness. You don't even have to leave the house, thankfully, in this pandemic. If you could benefit from more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Right now, we've got a special for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code WINDAILY. That's one word, WINDAILY. Just pay $5 in shipping. Again, that's BLUEChew.com, promo code WINDAILY to try it for free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. And remember, when you support our sponsors, you help make this show possible. So please make sure to use our promo code WINDAILY at BlueChew.com and only pay $5 for shipping.
Rocker. I can't click the comments.
Rocker.
What happened? Yeah, bro.
This is for you, buddy. I was waiting for you. Yes, Rocker. This is for you. BlueChew.com, promo code WinDaily. Rocker. Give us some shit right now.
Thank God I wasn't drinking water or anything at the time that I read that comment. Oh my God.
I love it. Wow. Let's go in the let's fucking go in the
That's a Saturday conversation that we had, anyways.
Let's do it. Yeah, no, I caught the tail end of that one. So kudos and congratulations to you guys, man. Appreciate you just being a good guy. Appreciate you being a good guy. So yeah, Rocker, please go right in. I need that confidence. No, John, you have it. It's inside you. You just need to, bring it up a little bit. That's all. Not a big deal. Let's get back to one lineup from Zach. Westbrook, Wall, Beal, Oladipo, Toppin, Knox, Yang, Noel, Cousins. Too many Knicks. I'll take that one from you, Ghost. Are these guys popping in the model? I don't know.
Ash is not on the show right now, Zach. It's okay. You don't have to send the lineup with 6 Knicks. It's okay. She's not here to judge you. It's okay. We're good.
Yeah,
she's gonna rip us off the show for not playing Knicks, but that's what we're here for. It's okay.
That's fine. Yeah. Zach, get back to us with less Knicks.
The one thing I will say about the Knicks, again, Brian, Adam, these guys are two of, if not the two best in the entire industry across all sports, but. Basketball, baseball. If you guys don't know who Adam and Brian are, jump in the Wednesday Discord right now.
Sports.com/rocker/chat. There you go.
There we go. Boom. So make sure you join. These guys are unbelievable, 24/7, finding stuff that no other analyst in the industry finds. And Ryan found an article that the Knicks actually spoke up to Tibbs, saying like, "Hey, we're tired.
We're playing 45 minutes a game, guys."
Gassed. Like apparently Julius Randle and RJ Bird were like, "Yo, I'm gassed. I'm tired. Like we got to figure something out because playing 37 minutes a night is just not working." So, in light of their recent struggles, kind of makes sense. You saw the amount of minutes that Alec Burks got last game. Real spicy to go there on a 3-game slate. If I'm going with Knicks, I'm going Alec Burks. That would be the main guy that I want, especially with the way that RJ Barrett's been playing the past 2-3 games. He's having a great season. Love the guy for obvious reasons. Repping the north of the border, of course, but I'm not going Obi Toppin. I can't do it. I'm team don't play Obi Toppin 2021.
Yeah, outside of the awesome rhyme, ain't no stopping Obi Toppin. Let's just talk about that last game.
A lot of questionable punts there. With Toppin, Knox, Yang, and Noel. That's a scary 4-way kind of thing you got going there. Yeah.
Let's just get to that game then. The Jazz are favored by 11.5. Over/under sits at 212. They don't think the Knicks are going to score any points. And yeah, when you hear that, I mean, all of their starters are playing 1 million minutes. What the hell do you expect? So, I mean, is there anyone on the Jazz side of the ball that you're interested in maybe taking a couple flyers on or really looking for some value?
He's very meh on a slate like this because I want so much of that second game that I'm very underweight on this last game, so I'll know exactly where I stand once that 8 or 8:30 game finishes. But if there's one guy that I have to pick out of these, I guess I could call them upper range guys. It's going to be Rudy Gobert. Mitchell Robinson fouls like even harder, if not at the same frequency that John Collins does. So it's going to be a big issue when he's facing bigger centers. Like he has a lot of talent. And I'm a big Mitch Robinson fan, but he struggles when guys play the same game that he does, just better. And Rudy Gobert is one of those guys. So he'll likely struggle in the paint because Mitch Rob likes to bully people in the paint. He likes to get in there and get dirty on the glass and really post up people. You can't do that on Rudy Gobert. He's been there, done that for years on end, and he just got $200+ million to continue doing that over 5 years. So one of, if not the best defender in the entire league there in Rudy Gobert. So it's going to be a long night for him. The only thing with Rudy is that his minutes have been kind of trending down, closer to that 27 to 30-minute range. I don't know if that's enough to get him there, especially on a slate like this. I'm not coming off Beal and Wall and Cousins and any of these guys to play Rudy Gobert. He doesn't have the same ceiling there. So for me, it's very tough to get exposure to him, Donovan Mitchell. Julius Randle is just too overpriced on a slate like this. Obviously, I'm going to keep repeating it. I want all the studs from that second game. And if I'm not going the studs from the second game, say Westbrook is on a minutes limit, I'm simply swapping out Westbrook and going Trae Young. I'm taking Trae Young before I'm taking Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert or any of these other guys, right? So if I could pick one out of those, like I guess I'll throw RJ Barrett in that conversation too. One out of the four, Gobert, Mitchell, Barrett, and Randle. I guess the like the big duos of this ugly game. I would rank them Rudy Gobert, then Mitchell, then Randle, then RJ, just because of what happened with the Knicks there. Don't be afraid to get exposure to Alec Burks. Also used to play for Utah. If you want to go into the deeper dive revenge narratives,
Love it.
A former Jazz there too, and they really trust this guy on the ball, no matter where he was playing. He was great in Golden State too. I absolutely loved him in Golden State. So he's a guy that could carry the ball. He could play off ball. I do like Alec Burks. Just the mid range doesn't really get me fired up on the slate, let alone from the ugliest game out of the three of them.
We already took the over and Houston -3.5. Let's just get at it. So I want to go back to Zach's lineup because he did give us a little bit of it's on FanDuel. So point guard and shooting guard are capped. What would you do just to get him away from some of these goddamn Knicks?
So the key thing there is that you need on FanDuel tonight alone. I hope this is not the case because he's in my main lineup on DraftKings. And after last night, I could really use a break and just use the lineup that I have tentatively there. But obviously, it's not going to happen. It's MEDA DFS. So if Westbrook is on a minutes limit, Jerome Robinson is minimum price on FanDuel. That's a stone cold lock for me. I would go him and John Wall if Westbrook is still on a minutes limit. You could come off Depot and go to I just talked up Alec Burks, right? So you're talking about getting some Knicks exposure. Alec Burks is only 5.3 on at that shooting guard number 2 position. See, like this is where again tonight. It really depends what site you're playing on, because on DraftKings, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's a lot more doable to get Westbrook, Wall, Beal, Depot, and Boogie. Whereas on FanDuel, it's very tough with the other value that you end up getting there. So I would come off Depot's almost $9,000 on FanDuel, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's like 8,800 or 8,900. That's way too much. He's $1,000 more there than he is on DraftKings. I'm going to be a pass on Depot on FanDuel. I would go to Alec Burks or even a guy like Kevin Huerter's in play now that Reddish is out too. Kevin Huerter is in that 5K range there too. So yeah, I see your recent comment drop Depot. That would be, if we're assuming now like the slate locks at 6:22 p.m. Eastern, we don't know if Westbrook has a minutes limit or not. I would keep Westbrook there and just drop Depot from Alec Burks to Alec Burks or Huerter, and then increase some of these guys. Like small forward for me, DeAndre Hunter has to be a lock. Just not because it's the best play, it's just it's the best of the bad. Small forward is so bad, and on FanDuel you have to play 2 of them on top of that. So that's why I was saying before, you're almost thinking about locking in a guy like Bojan Bogdanovic. That's when you know it's ugly.
That's when you know it's ugly. All right, couple more in the chat, and then we're going to head out of here. Ben, Wall, Beal, Jerome, Morris, Cousins, Westbrook, Huerter, Len. Should I change Westbrook if he's on a restrictions for more Clippers?
No, like see that's a lineup where your value is there. You could just slide out Westbrook for Trey.
Yeah.
And if I don't know if this is GBP or cash, I hope it's GBP because I don't want to play cash on a slate like this. If it's GBP, that's where you could get away from Morris and go up to a guy, go up to a bigger power forward there. He's coming in extremely chalky, so you could move things around to try and get a different power forward in there. You could punt power forward and get a guy like Terrence Mann or one of these other Clippers if you want exposure there. But Marcus Morris for me is a hard fade in GPPs. He might get there, but just at 70%, I would not play Marcus Morris. It's just I can't get there. He doesn't have the raw talent to be 70% owned, honestly, like this.
You love to see it. Depot, Beal, Morris Sr., Yang, Boogie, Rondo, House Jr., Brody, my other lineup for GPP. So we just talked about
Rondo's sneaky in a spot like this. Very efficient throughout his entire career. I'm a big Rondo guy. Like I'm a big Rondo truther from his days in Boston to LA to no matter where he's played. Even when he was out there in New Orleans with Anthony Davis, that was so fun to watch him and AD, man. That was really fun. And obviously AD brought him to LA with him as well. Apparently it was his call and not LeBron's to bring Rajon Rondo out there, right? So I'm a big Rondo guy in a spot like this where, you know, if you're playing that angle, you got to plant your flag thinking about the spot where Atlanta's prepping for Brooklyn tomorrow and they just kind of wipe the floor with LA. Rondo can get 20 minutes in a spot like this, and that's more than enough for him to be one of the best values on the slate. So very interesting play tonight. Could blow up in your face, but the upside is huge. So I do like it.
We do like upside. William, Beal, Hunter, Yang, Cousins, Oladipo, Nwaba, and Ibaka.
No Nwaba for me. Any of these fringe Houston guys, I'm out. The Jayshawn Tates, the David Nwabas, the Sterling Browns, and any one of those guys, I'm out. Everyone's back for Houston with the exception of Christian Wood. It's a crowded backcourt now. They have Wall and Depot. They're likely going to stagger the 2 of them. That one of them is always on the court. Boogie's going to eat. There's nobody to get him into foul trouble because Washington is playing Robin Lopez. So good luck to Robin Lopez tonight. Wish you all the best. Your funeral. But any of these Houston Fridge players, are completely off my board.
Love it. And that seems like the last question. Just little appreciation, Berman. You guys
Thank
are
you
awesome.
for tuning in.
Yeah, you're awesome. We do this because we love it. Appreciate you. No problem, Zach. Come on back. Keep coming back. Keep asking us questions. Hope you win a bunch of money. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ghost, where can everyone find you on the internet?
At DFS_Ghost over on Twitter, and of course with the Win Daily team in the Discord chat. You guys can come and see us. Obviously, we love to talk ball, but the gift game is unreal lately. So
it has been a lot of fun. And just to recap, we have the over in the Houston Wizards game. We have the Houston -3.5. If you can parlay them together. Bradley Beal over points, anything under 35, take the over. I have over Serge Ibaka rebounds 7.5 and over John Wall assists. Ghost has assists, points, rebounds, everything for John Wall.
So 32.5 PRA.
There we go. Just take all the overs on John Wall.
Points, PRA, and assists, all three.
You'll love to see it. You can follow me at Michael Brazil 1. You can follow us at Win Daily Sports. If you haven't already and you're still watching, just click that like button. We would sincerely appreciate that. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, but subscribe to our channel as well. It is in the description. So for Ghostman, for the chat, we appreciate each and every one of you. It's my favorite part. For everyone over here at HNB Media TV, for everyone at Win Daily Sports, for myself, we all hope you make it a very, very profitable Taco Tuesday here in the NBA.
Taco Tuesday.